So I was out thrifting a couple of weeks ago when I found this little toy loom and I immediately fell in love with it. I've been wanting a loom for a really long time, and I finally made a splurge and bought myself a €6 toy loom. She needed a bit of fixing up. She was missing one of the dowels for the beams, and luckily that was easily replaceable with just the dowel that comes on a cloth hanger. And a lot of the parts were threadbare and falling apart. So I did spend quite a lot of time over the past couple of weeks to just fix her up slowly and surely. I've never had a loom before, so a lot of this was just taking it apart slowly and surely, section by section, and figuring out how the construction was made and just essentially redoing that, but with some new and improved materials. The center portion, I forgot what the name is immediately. It was missing a couple of parts, as well as it having been fixed previously, probably a couple of times over with bias binding, which isn't ideal because bias binding stretches. And they seem to have fixing up some loose threads by just adding more threads on top of it. I'm not entirely sure, maybe that's how you're supposed to do it when you're weaving, but that's not what I wanted to do. After I had fixed the dowels and the ribbons on the beam, I moved on to the center section where you have the things. You know the things. You're looking at them right now. There was a lot of measuring involved, of course, because I wanted it to... I felt like it sat good the way it was supposed to. I just did not like the eyes were too big, so it didn't leave you much of a gap when you were moving the heddle, I think? Shaft. No, the shaft. The shafts up and down, it wasn't creating a lot of gaps in between the threads for you to put your weft yarn into. So I wanted the eyes to be just a little bit smaller, and the entire stringy portion of it to be a little bit taller, so that would hopefully give me more space as I wove. And it did work out really well, actually. I did have to tie 50 pieces with knots that were equal enough for this to work, but it did work out quite all right, actually. I have woven on it once, and I just yesterday set up a second warp on it, and it's working fine. I love it. I'm having so much fun with it, even though I can only make really long and skinny items on it. Oh, and also I did, of course, after I took the entire loom apart, I did give her a good cleaning and oiling, of course. The wood was very dry and thirsty. It made a huge difference. Might not seem like it, but it's the wood is just a lot smoother. I thought I would have to sand it down in places, but that turned out to be completely unnecessary. Just a good oiling did the trick. Given that the loom is very small, made for children's hands, I guess, and me maybe not having all the right tools all the time, it was quite difficult, actually, in some certain parts to get this working, to get it right. There's a lot of places where I just drop things and things fall apart because it's so fiddly and tiny, and it's kind of hard to get your arms in the correct spaces because there's not really a lot of space to move in this one. But in the end, it worked out fine. I am really pleased with it. I've never fixed up a loom before, but she's working fine. She's working great. I love her so much.